pill ill, y'all niggas better listen. I'm black 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 pill, I'm ill with this will. 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 I'm black pill, I'm ill with this will.
Oh, what's up, everybody? Hold the truth hostage where the truth was so important we wouldn't negotiate with lies. Also, warning, this is a heterosexual male's channel. Warning, this is a heterosexual male's channel. You know, now we got that out the way, we begin talking. Well, the thing is, I had to make this video, man, because I think it's a very important subject to talk about. And, I had to call it a part one. Let me put because I'm on the road, I can't fully respond to everything. Oh, Koala was good, man. Mitchie Alex was good. But, yeah, I had to do this stream, man, because I think it's got to be covered, man. It's got to be covered because the narrative is that a lot of men are into, pornography when it comes to sex. And then the reason I call this struggle porn is because, I got inspired by the word. You know how you watch some movies and they'll say that movie is gore porn or, it's action porn or, shooting porn or whatever. I say, man, I had to cover it. I had to cover struggle porn because I think the majority of men, and it's in the West, I'm in America, so, I'll speak from the American perspective, but the majority of men in America are into struggle porn. You know what I'm saying? The majority of men here are fondly into struggle porn, and I know what you're thinking, what is struggle porn? You know what I'm saying? What is that? What is struggle porn, and are you into struggle porn? Well, struggle porn is that you actually define your life and you look at struggling as an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Your whole life is built on struggle, and you find so much pride in that struggle. Like, a good example of this would be when someone will tell you, man, you know how hard I worked for this? You know what I'm saying? You know how hard I worked for it? Or someone will say, man, it's a struggle. It's a struggle to keep this household, man. It's a struggle to keep this lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? They'll always speak about struggle and identify it as something to be proud of in their life. You know what I'm saying? Rather than understanding that struggle, the reason you struggle is that you haven't found an easier way or a better solution. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were raised on it. We were raised on identifying struggle as an accomplishment and as something we should be proud of, instead of looking at struggle as a sign of our failure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you walked up to somebody at your job, you're at your job. If you're at your job and someone's doing things a lot easier and they're not struggling, that's the person you would be respecting. You would respect the person that isn't struggling. You'd be like, oh man, like, how do you do this without struggling? You know what I'm saying? You would ask that person at your job, how do you do it without struggling? You know, you don't look to struggle. You know what I'm saying? You don't look for that. You know, that's not something positive. You know, most people that are struggling, it's because they haven't found an easier way to do things. They haven't found an easier way, a better way, a way with less struggle. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, that's what most people that struggle. So you're not supposed to look up to someone that's struggling. Yo, man, I struggle, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm struggling, man. It's a battle. It's a fight. You know, every day is a struggle. You're not supposed to be idolizing or respecting that. And I know, you know, I mean, I know in your brain, you know what I'm saying? I know in your mind, you're like, you know, what I'm saying right now, it's going against everything you were taught. You know, everything you were taught in your life, this is going against it. You know what I'm saying? I guarantee in the back of your head, you're like, man, you know, he's telling me that I shouldn't be proud that I struggled for anything. You know what I'm saying? It's counterclockwise. You know, the way you're thinking about it, it's counterclockwise to how you were raised and, you know, how you were taught to define your life. You know, most of us grow up with the definition that struggle struggle will be what defines us. You know what I'm saying? Your struggles will define you. Your struggles will determine who you are and your life and so on, your values. Struggle. You know what I'm saying? It's all about struggle. You know, they tell us, oh man, your struggle will define you and everything like that. But in reality, a lot of people don't understand that all this talk of struggling is actually, be it consciously or subconsciously, it's programming you to actually enjoy and find validation through struggling. You know what I'm saying? That's why most men you see in America and in Americanized countries, they place themselves in a situation where they have to struggle. You know what I'm saying? Be it dating. I mean, if you think about it, be it dating, housing, your living situation, everything you do is pro struggle. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do, the majority of things you do is about struggling. You know, and it's struggling by choice. You know what I'm saying? It's not struggling by force or you don't know what you're doing. No, a lot of men purposely seek out struggling. You know, a lot of people purposely seek it out because we've been raised that, yo, man, everything, your identity, who you are, your success, everything is built on struggle, you know, rather than built on its ease. You know what I'm saying? It was easy. You know what I'm saying? We actually, what's the word, man? We'll actually demonize somebody. We'll actually demonize somebody if they didn't struggle. You know what I'm saying? We'll demonize somebody. We'll say, oh, man, you didn't struggle, man. You didn't earn that. You didn't earn that because you didn't struggle. So a lot of people, their whole lives are defined by struggling. And the stupidity about struggling is that there's a high level of insanity to it, you know? Like, for example, you know, that cliche saying where they say, well, you know, if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a better outcome, you're insane. There's a level of insanity to that you're doing the same thing over and over again. And you think, you know what, man, I'm going to get a better outcome. And and when it comes to struggle, a lot of people think that, you know, if I struggle for everything I own and everything I've earned, I will at the end, I will at the end obtain a better life. You know what I'm saying? I will at the end obtain a better life, and I will at the end be able to retire or quit struggling. So a lot of people think that to escape struggle, you must struggle. You know what I'm saying? As in, you gotta swim through and exist in a state of struggle so you can earn what lies outside of that struggle, which is a life without struggle or less struggling. Notice that everything I'm saying has to do with struggle. You know what I mean? And a lot of people build their lives around this. You know what I'm saying? Most of the ads you see on YouTube and on, you know, most of the ads you see on YouTube, they'll tell you, well, you know, you're tired of struggling. You're tired of a 9 to 5. Are you tired? Are you struggling to own a house? You know, you want to end your struggling? You know what I'm saying? That's one of their big market pitches to sell you something is struggling. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you, let me help you end your struggling, but in reality, they're actually selling you struggling to begin with. You know, I was talking to the homie, man. Shout out to the homie Shadowback. I was chopping it up with him, and he reminded me of something, man. He reminded me of something big, you know. And I might be getting the law wrong. Oh, yo, damn man, 50 was good, man. Was good, bro. I might be getting it wrong, but there's a law. There's a law in the United States where I forget the word, but I think there's a law where the government could repossess or possess your property, and you have no choice but to give it. As in, if you built a home, if you built a house, the government in your town could just say, "We need that. We need that land. We want to create a parking spot. We want to bulldoze it. We want to do whatever the hell we want to do to that land, and you got to give it to us." You know, when I was talking to Shadowback, he brought that up, and one of my boys told me this like over 5, 6 years ago about a property repossession, where the government could just come knock on your door. Oh, there it is, my brother, man. There it is, man. Yeah, there it is. Eminent domain. Yeah. Eminent domain, man. Where the government could just come to your home and take it, you know? They could just come and take it due to eminent domain. So the homie Shadowback told me about, you know, you could imagine you built an entire housing complex, or you have like, I forget the word, you have a car dealership. You got a car dealership, and due to eminent domain, they just come and take it. They just come and take it. My bad, brother. You know, they just come and take your you know, your dealership. They take the area. They take your acres. They take your land. And the reason this eminent domain is important is that, you know, that conversation inspired me, man. It got me to think about, you know, the name of this, you know, this stream, struggle porn, you know, struggle porn, because it got me to think, if eminent domain exists, then why are you struggling to own and possess property when at the end of the day, it could be taken from you at any time? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. You could put over 20 years of your life onto a property, and it could be taken at any time. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about that for a second. You know, you bought all this land, and the government, through eminent domain, they could take it. And now, I'm not saying you don't buy land. You know, you don't buy land with a purpose of repurposing it to make money. For example, if you buy some acres of land and you lease it or you rent it, by all means, you make your money. Make your money, man. You know, or you buy a house, by all means, you make your money. You know, you rent it out and all that. But the reason I bring this up with this stream and calling it struggle porn is that it's it's when you think about that, you know. So if you know eminent domain exists in your country, you know, you got to start planning from a perspective of whatever I buy, I'm ready I'm ready and aware that it could be taken. It could be taken because I can't truly own anything. You know what I'm saying? You can't truly own anything. And when you got your mind set up that way, you're buying things from a perspective of you're prepared to lose it. You know, you got to buy things with the mind state that, yo, I'm ready to lose it, man. I'm buying this house. I'm ready to lose it. I'm ready for it to be taken away. You know, that's where your mind has to be. You always got to have it in the back of your head that whatever you're trying to build, it could be taken away. You know, it could be taken away. And that should change your mind. You know, that should change your mind to what you pursue in life, because when you add things up to, yo, man, it could be taken away from me and I can't really own anything. And ownership is it's really an illusion, and it's really a bread and circus, something to make me feel some type of way, you know, feel a sense of accomplishment, you know. It becomes a sense of accomplishment rather than the reality and the truth of the matter is that you don't own nothing. You know what I'm saying? You don't own it. You don't own it. So what's happening is, man, and the reason I bring this up, it's not to talk to you about, oh, man, you know, you shouldn't invest in owning housing. You shouldn't invest in owning land. It isn't about that. It's really about, think about it. If you know you can't really own the land or your home or stuff like that, if you can't really own your property and through that eminent domain, it could be taken away, now you got to adjust everything else. And the reason this struggle porn is that a lot of men are choosing struggle as a way to identify and validate their existence. And what I mean by that, and I'm going to start on a very small perspective. Oh, what's good, Pars? You know, a very small perspective of this is think about your living situation. Like a lot of people, they say in America that, you know, for you to retire here, they set up retirement, and I think they moved up the age from 60. I think retirement was like 60 to now it's 65 years old or borderline going on 70 years old. You know what I'm saying? Borderline going on 70 years old for you to retire. And the reason I bring this up is that, man, if you weren't so loyal to struggling, you could retire half the time. You could retire even sooner because your spending habits would reflect that. Because it becomes like I was telling guys, is this, man, if you're in America and you're not planning to have children here, you're not planning to start a family here, then you wouldn't be renting an entire apartment floor to yourself. You wouldn't be renting an entire apartment floor because you don't ever plan to have that situation where, you know, your girlfriend will come move in and live with you. You don't plan to have that. You don't plan to go through that situation of, yo, man, I got my own apartment. So, you know, eventually my girl's going to come live with me. You know what I'm saying? Or, yo, I got my own house. Eventually my girl going to move here and we're gonna start a family in this house. You know, I spoke about this on a stream before, and you know, when I spoke about it, it was from a perspective of you not having children and you not starting a family. Because everything a man does when it comes to moving out, when it comes to moving out, getting his own place and everything like that, it's really just training. It's training for eventually having your own spot and starting a family. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it tends to be about, is that you're training. But what I've come to realize now with the eminent domain and the realization of how much people love to struggle and actually define struggle as something to validate them, it becomes, man, what's the point? What's the point of struggling to own your own apartment, struggling to own your own house? If you're, you know, when it comes to the housing, I say if you're not gonna make money off the house, you know, there's really no point to own a house if you're not gonna make money off of it. But what I'm bringing up is this, man. What's the point of struggling to pay rent for your own apartment? Let's just stick on the apartment thing. What's the point? What's the point of that? What's the point of that struggle when A, you don't plan to retire here. You don't plan to stay in that house forever. You don't plan to stay in that location forever. So what's the point? Oh, yeah, the homie koala. Yeah, that blue pill dream. Yeah. I mean, there is that dream, man. You know, they sell that, but, you know, the white picket fence and the house and all that. But even more than that, it's like, man, what's the point? You know, besides the struggle to obtain the validation of other people to say, you know what, man, I'm renting this whole floor. I got my own apartment. You know what I'm saying? I got my own apartment, even though you're always looking for a better job. You know, if you're looking for a better job where you're at, you know, and here's the thing about a job and a career is that if you're always looking for a better career or a better job, then you can't stay stationary. You can't afford to live a stationary life. You can't, unless you're doing it for the struggle. You know what I mean? Like I know some people, and I know most people. You know, when we grew up with them, is that, yo, man, I'm struggling to pay rent on this apartment, while at the same time I'm looking for a better job. I'm looking for a better job because I'm struggling to pay this apartment, when, yo, he could have cut it in half and say, yo, man, I'm renting this room. I rent this room in this apartment. I'm just renting the room. I'm not renting the floor. I'm just renting the room, and I'm looking for a better job. So the struggle has been decreased, man. You know what I'm saying? Just think about that. Think about that if you were renting a room instead of a floor in an apartment, you'd have more money, you'd have more income saved. You know what I'm saying? You have more income saved, and you would struggle far less. In fact, you might not struggle at all. Because let me give you an example. Let's say you're renting a room in an apartment. You know, you're just renting a room. You know what I'm saying? And let's say that rental for that room is $400 a month. It's $400 a month for you to rent that room, and then let's say you're making $600 a week. So you know what I'm saying? $600 a week, so that's $2,400 a month. You know, you're making that much. You're making money like that. That income you're making. You got to ask yourself, if you're making $2,400 a month, which is better for you? You know what I'm saying? Which aspect of your life has less struggle? You making $2,400 a month and renting a room, or you making $2,400 a month and just renting an entire floor to an apartment. You know what I'm saying? Which path has less struggle? Oh, yo, what's good, Spec streaming? What's good, dog? So which life is less struggle, man? You know, I grew up. You know what I'm saying? I'm a product of the '90s, man. In the '90s, we were all told, yo, man, you gotta get your own apartment. You gotta get your own house with the white picket fence. You gotta get everything of your own because they want you to buy into this illusion that you actually own anything. When in reality, man, you don't own nothing. Like, for example, if you were to rent, let's say you rent a nice apartment in a nice community, and let's say out of nowhere, like we went through with Conan 19. You know what I'm saying? We went through with Conan 19. They shut down the entire neighborhood. People can't afford to live in these apartments no more. And then they got they board down the apartments now, and it lowers the value of your apartments. The town becomes more crime infested and becomes more riddled with poverty. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get it, man. Ownership ain't just, yo, man, I own my apartment. Nah, man. Ownership is, man, I control what's gonna happen here. You know what I'm saying? The only way my apartment, the value goes down, the only way crime goes up is if I create that scenario. If I'm the one who does it. You know what I'm saying? Not, oh man, I wake up one day and the government's like, fuck you, man, we're shutting down the entire fucking neighborhood and you got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Deal with it. You know, because the thing is this, man, a lot of people buy into the illusion of ownership. You know what I'm saying? Because people believe if they can afford to pay for something, they own it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I tell you, man, this car is $15,000, the car is $15,000, and you paid me 15, you know what I'm saying? That high, you get that accomplishment from, yo, I bought it. I bought the car. The car is mine. You know what I'm saying? I bought it. But with ownership of that car, you got to have insurance now. You know what I'm saying? You got to have insurance for the car. Then you might need some insurance for weather hazards and all this stuff. So do you really own the car? You know what I'm saying? Do you really own it? You know? A lot of people get bought into that illusion of ownership because they achieved payment. When in reality, man, you can't decide what's going to happen. You don't have any ownership, man. That's why I think a lot of guys, man, and you know, I was a part of it. I'm not afraid to admit, man, I was into the struggle porn, man. I was into the struggle, man. I was trying to define my whole life based on struggle, you know? You got to struggle to own this nice apartment. You got to struggle to own this car. You got to struggle to own that house. You got to struggle. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, you know, it becomes, there's no point to it because, and I'm not saying, yo, there's no point to it. You got to give up on life and all that bullshit. No, I'm saying, dude, yo, if your goal is to optimize and earn as much money and have as much opportunities as you can get, that means you can't afford to struggle. You can't afford to struggle when it comes to your housing. You can't. You know what I'm saying? Even with the vehicle you're buying, yes, it might be a dream of yours to own like a let's say your dream is to own like a Ferrari or own like a Mustang, you know. But if you're not living and if you haven't found the best opportunity for yourself when it comes to like the job you're doing or your career, buying that nice, super nice car or renting that super nice apartment, it's gonna handicap you. It's gonna make you less flexible. You'll be less flexible when it comes to making moves, man. When it comes to making better moves and chasing better opportunities. You know, a lot of people don't get it, man. Struggle is a choice. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of choices behind struggle. I'm not saying how you were born. You know, if you were born into poverty, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're born into poverty. We don't control how the struggle starts. You know what I'm saying? We don't control our placement in life. You know what I'm saying? We don't control that. We don't control how life started. You know what I'm saying? You could be born into a rich family. You could be born into a poor family. You could be born into a migrant family. You could be born into an immigrant family. You could be born into any scenario. You know what I'm saying? You don't control how you were born. But, you know, once you get enough awareness and, you know, enough control over your life, man, struggle becomes a choice. You know what I'm saying? Struggle becomes a choice because a lot of people buy into the illusion, man, that, you know what I'm saying, that the illusion that, oh, man, I'm going to overcome it, man. This struggle makes me stronger and better. No, man. Think about it. The retirement age is 65. The retirement age is 65 years old, and eventually they'll up it to 70. They'll probably make the retirement age 70, you know? So how do you cut that in half? Now, the scammers and all the people online will tell you, well, man, you could get this crypto, you could get this, you know, you could do this drop shipping, and you'll still be able to own a house and own an apartment and this and that. But like, you know, it becomes what's the point? Especially now, you know, a lot of guys know, man, especially if you don't plan to retire here. Like, you know, a good example is, if you don't plan to have a family in the country you're in, you know what I'm saying? If you don't plan to have your children here, you don't plan to start a family here, then anything you do otherwise, man, it becomes choosing struggle. For example, if you're not gonna have a family here, you're not gonna start a family where you're located. You know, we in the Black Pill, man. We know the laws. We already know the laws, man. You know what I'm saying? We know the laws already. We already know that. So if you're not planning to have a family here or anything here, then you're not gonna plan to have any liabilities. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna have liabilities. You know what I'm saying? Everything you will own, you'll be able to discard it. You know, at a drop of a dime. Without notice, you'll be able to discard it, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't plan to have a family here. A lot of guys don't get it, man. You know, once you've made that decision that, I don't plan to have a family here, man. I don't plan to have kids. I don't plan to start my family where I was born, domestically. Once you've made that decision, that basically means you can't have any liabilities. You know what I'm saying? You can't have any liabilities anymore. You know, that even means, you know, an apartment situation. You're better off renting a room than renting the entire floor. You know what I'm saying? Because you made up your decision that you're not going to have a family here. You know, once you've made that decision that, I'm not going to have a family here, man. I'm not having children. I'm not getting married here. then that decision means your whole life becomes based on lacking liabilities. You know what I'm saying? Living a life where you have as less liabilities as possible. You know what I'm saying? You know, and it becomes about optimizing your opportunities to profit. You know, that's all it is. Like I've been telling a lot of guys, man, you know, America has made a lot more men more efficient than ever before. It's made us more efficient, you know, when it comes to our individual wants and individual needs. It's made us far more efficient when it comes to the self. Like, I mean, if you don't have children, you're going to save more income. You're going to save more money. You know what I'm saying? That means you're going to be more flexible and be more able to travel, take flights, move the way you want to move. You know what I'm saying? You'll be far more mobile. You know, like I've been telling guys when I did the Casper Pill 2.0, Casper Pill, whatever, and being a full-time ghost. Once you've made your decision that, yo, I will not end my life here, man. I'm not having children here, bro. And you know, what I mean by end your life is that when you have children, your children are now the priority. You know what I'm saying? Once you've made the decision that I will always be the priority in my country, I will always be the priority. I will never be the secondary. Never. Never be the secondary, man. I will always be the priority. Once you've made that decision, that means, yo, you can't have any more liabilities, man. You can't have any more attachments. You know what I'm saying? Liabilities as in your lease for your housing. You know, lease for your housing. Lease for renting the whole floor of an apartment. You know what I mean? Lease for your apartment rent. You can't have any more of that, man. Once you've made that decision that I will not be having children here, then everything has to change, man. You can't be struggling no more, man. You can't be identifying with struggle anymore. You can't. Because you don't have an excuse. You can't say, well, man, I'm struggling for my kids and my children. You're not going to have kids here. So what's the reason for struggling? You know what I'm saying? What's the reason? Unless it's for validation, man. It becomes about validation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 90s, and, you know, I talk to a lot of guys, man. You know, a lot of the homies are from different eras, man. Some of the homies is in their 40s. Some homies grew up in the 80s. Some homies grew up in the 70s. You know, once in a while, one of the homies might have grown up in the 60s, 90s. You know what I mean? I grew up in the 90s or whatever. One thing we didn't have in the 90s, man, or even the 2000s, we didn't completely have it, was the freedom when it comes to our living situation, you know? The freedom when it comes to our living situations, you know? In the year 2010s, bro, you know, you can literally, when Craigslist popped up, I think Craigslist happened around like, what was it? I think like 2008 or something like that. You know what I mean? That's when Craigslist came into reality. You know what I'm saying? I think 2008 or something like that. You know, Craigslist happened, you know? And with Craigslist happening, you know, with Craigslist, a lot of people started sharing, yo, man, I'm looking for a roommate. I'm looking for a roommate. I'm looking for someone looking to rent a room. You know, I'm looking for someone to rent a room. A lot of people don't even understand how much that literally changed the world. That changed the entire equation, man. Because in the 90s, your only option when it came to housing in the '90s was, yo, man, I gotta go find a place to rent. You know, I might live with my cousin, I might live with my friend, but I gotta find a place to rent the entire apartment. You know what I'm saying? I gotta rent the whole thing. But when the 2010s happened, man, everything changed. You know, everything changed in the 2010s, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything changed. You know, a lot of people, a lot of people think, you know, in the 2010s, the only thing happened is the only thing happened in the 2010s is, you know, how we lost. You know, a lot of men speak about 2010s like we lost everything, man. Men lost everything. We don't have anything. We don't own anything. When in reality, that's a lie, man. 2010s changed everything. When it came to a man's lifestyle, it changed everything. And Spec was good, man. It was good, bro. You know what I'm saying? It changed everything. And what it changed in the 2010s is that, and I'm gonna show you, like in the 60s, let's go to the 70s. So 1970 to about 1990s, the only way you could find a place to live was to rent something. You know what I'm saying? It was to rent something. The only way you could find a place to live was to rent your entire apartment for yourself. To go get yourself an apartment, go get yourself a house. You know what I'm saying? That was the only option. Or you find some roommates. You know, you find some roommates, but the goal with roommates was still the same. An entire floor to an entire apartment or a house to rent the whole thing. That was the goal. The goal didn't change. In the 90s, it was, yo, man, go get your own house, your own apartment, or get one with your friends and, you know, get a roommate and all that. That was the goal. But once the 2010s came, they started advertising. It started in Craigslist. You know, Craigslist started advertising, looking for someone to rent a room. Rent a room. Rent a room, man. Rent a room, man. Oh yeah, I was on the road, man. I was on the road, my brother. You know, to rent a room. So that changed the whole game, man. Now we are in the economy of men renting shared rooms. Like, think about it. The housing market is at an all-time low. Less men are buying houses. Less men are buying homes. Less men are buying houses to live in. Because a lot of the men have learned that, you know, a lot of men have learned it's just a struggle, man. It's struggle. It's struggle porn. I'm going to work my ass off. I'm going to struggle. Think about it. I'm going to struggle to work 40, 60 hours a week just to rent a nice apartment. This ain't even to increase this ain't even to decrease my age of retirement. This doesn't decrease my age of retirement. So I'm going to work my ass off just so I can say, yo, I could be validated and say, yo, man, I live in a super nice apartment, super nice place, but this didn't help my retirement. You know what I'm saying? This didn't help my retirement. You know? Oh, David, what's good, man? David, what's good, man? Yeah. This didn't help your retirement. In all honesty, it only increased, it only furthered, like the homie Koala said, man. Like the homie Koala said, it only furthered the amount of time you're gonna have to take to retire. You're only gonna struggle to retire even more. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening. Let me take a little break. I gotta go just handle something quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Well, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but no, but like I was saying, man, the thing is this, man, you gotta understand, dude, the world has changed, man. Everything they're selling you online now, the majority of these guys are telling you online it's a scam. You know, the reason it's a scam is that they're trying to have you take pride in struggling. You know, the biggest problem with poor people, you know, the biggest problem with poor people compared to rich people is that poor people have identified with struggle. They've identified with struggle as a positive feature in their life. You know what I'm saying? As a positive. While the rich people, if you look at how rich and wealthy people, when they make their businesses, I'll give you an example. You know, you can look up Facebook. You know, a lot of us have seen that movie. What was the movie? The Social Network. You know, the Social Network, the movie. Mark Zuckerberg literally stole Facebook. He stole it. You know what I'm saying? He stole it. It was the it was the path of least resistance. It was the path of least resistance. He was helping those guys develop the website, but they didn't have a contract. They didn't have a contract. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a contract. They didn't have anything to protect it. So he took it. He took the road of least, you know what I'm saying? I forget the word. It's the road of least I think it's least struggle. What would you say the least struggle? And he took it. You know what I'm saying? Bill Gates. If you look up Bill Gates, Microsoft is literally old technology he took. He took, man. He took it. You know what I'm saying? He took it, man. And then you look up I forget this. You even look up Apple, man. I'm not saying you go around stealing stuff. I'm not saying you go steal. But notice everything they did was the road of least hassles, least struggle. That's the major difference with poor people and wealthy and rich people. I think the wealthy, they know you got to go towards the road of least I forget what is that saying, man. I think it's the road of least I forget the saying, but you got to take the path with the less struggle. The less struggle, man. That's the path you got to take. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to find a positive in struggling, man. There's nothing positive about struggling. Nothing at all. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing positive about it. Because if struggle was so positive, you would seek it out. You would openly seek it out and you would say, yo, man, I'm struggling, bro. I'm struggling and I'm so great at struggling. You know what I'm saying? No one's ever spoken about struggling from a positive. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. A lot of people are identifying with struggle. You know what I'm saying? They're choosing to ignore. They're choosing to ignore the society we live in right now, man. The truth of the matter. Because most people are choosing struggle, man. You know, most people are addicted to struggling. You know, the number one consumed content for men in the West, it isn't pornography, you know what I'm saying, with women and all that. No, the number one consumption is struggle porn. You know, guys that just wake up and take pride in the struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even helping you retire. I remember I was working with an artist, you know, I do comic books here and there. I do other things. And you know, he was telling me how much money he raised on like a Kickstarter or something. He was like, yo, I raised 8,000. I raised $20,000. And you know what I asked him? I asked him, okay, that's good and all, but can you retire off of that? Can you retire off of $20,000? You can't. So what did you accomplish? What did you accomplish if it's not towards your retirement? You know, that's the thing a lot of people got to get in their minds, man. Everything you do, you got to start comparing it to the end goal. The end goal is retirement. You know what I'm saying? Retirement. And if it isn't helping you towards retirement, then what's the point? You know, I've seen some of the homies, man. I got some homies, some homies out making some bread. You know, they were making some money. And they worked their ass off, man. They worked hard, man. You know, they made it to the burbs, they made it to the suburbs, and they living in a nice area, great area. You know, they're doing great for themselves. You know, they're doing great for themselves, but when they moved up to a nicer neighborhood, they just increased the amount of money they spent, the amount of money they were spending. You know what I'm saying? So they were spending this extra money, and now remember, this guy still has to retire soon. You know, still has to retire soon. So he's making, I think he was making like over 100,000. He was making over 100,000, and I think the house he bought was like damn near 1 million or whatever the amount of money the stuff was. You know, see what the homie Koala. Once you get used to a standard, it's hard to downgrade. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not saying him move, but hear me out, hear me. I'm not saying you moving to a better location is wrong. Nothing wrong with that. It's how you stay there. It's about the stationary results. So one of the homies, he moved up to a nicer area, which is great. But the problem is when he moved up there, there's still, Conan 19 hit. You got to understand, man, if you do not control your entire environment and what's going to happen, Mitchie Alex was good, man. Yeah, there it is, my brother, man. The role of, yeah, that's it. The role of less resistance. Yeah, there it is, man. You got to go the path of less resistance, man. That's it right there. Yeah, yeah, $1 million home with 100,000 income. Not a good move. Yeah, you know what I mean. He chose the role of more resistance and struggle. The reason I bring this up is that, man, you're in America, bro. You've made your decision to not have children here. You've now seen that the country is antagonistic towards you as a heterosexual male when it comes to what you bring to this world, children, and what you create. So why would you make any investments that put you in liability? You know what I'm saying? Put you in a liability. And then it only increases. So like the homie spec is saying, so if you make $100,000, you take a mortgage out on a house, you're putting money into the house. You know what I'm saying? And unless you're gonna rent the house out, you know, it's not gonna help you retire. You know, it's not gonna help you retire. Because one of the things they do when they tell you to become a homeowner, they always make it sound like, yo, as soon as you buy a house, you're gonna be able to rent it. You're gonna be able to rent it and make money. But if you live in a house where, let's say the house costs you $1 million and the upkeep for the house, you know how much you're gonna charge in rent. You're gonna charge a high amount. So how do you know you're gonna be able to get people to rent that house? You know what I'm saying? Need a 50K plus car parked in front of that home too. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Also the pressure to keep his job. Yeah. Respect to the homie spec. The reason he brought up a great thing I was trying to say with Conan 19. We saw what happened with Conan 19. Less fatal. You know what I'm saying? It shut down the entire country. Jobs were lost. They shut down the entire economy You know what I'm saying? Over what they wanted to do. So you buying a house there, how you gonna rent out the house? You know how many people I heard when Conan 19 hit, how many I forget what they call the people that were renting their homeowners that were renting their home. All of a sudden they passed a law where, yeah, you can't charge people rent for the next 4 months. You can't charge people rent for the next 4 months. So, once that happened, the homeowner now owes debt. He's in debt for his electric bill, water bill, and all. You're gonna have to pay for it. You know, if he got kids, yeah, want $1 million, yeah, yeah. So the thing is, the reason I say, man, you gotta stop your addiction to struggle porn. Is that, dude? If we all know you're not gonna have children here, not only that, you're not planning to retire here. You're not even planning to retire in the country. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of having any liabilities? You know what I mean? What's the point of being liable for anything here? You know what I'm saying? And then purposely choosing to struggle. And what I mean by that is that I'll give you an example. Let's say you moved, you moved to you live in Vegas. Let's say you live in Las Vegas, Nevada. You live there. You live in Las Vegas, but you haven't found the career you want yet. You haven't found the greatest opportunity you want yet. And like I tell guys with the Casper Pill 2.0 is that, you're not loyal to where you live. You're not. You're loyal to the opportunity. So imagine you live in Vegas. You get a call from Jersey and we're going to pay you 3 times the amount of money or 2 times the amount of money you're making in Vegas in Jersey. But you now own a home in Vegas. You own a home. You got a lease on an apartment. How are you going to move, man? How are you going to move? How quickly can you move out the house, man? And they haven't paid you yet. They haven't given you any money yet. How quickly can you move? You see what I mean? You chose the struggle. You chose the validation of the struggle over the flexibility and the lack of liability. So you're able to be as mobile as possible. You know what I'm saying? Things have changed, man. Shout out to the homie Spec, man. He knows. Us, growing up as a millennial, man, the people we looked up to were Gen Xers. Gen Xers were who we looked up to. And the Gen Xers had the dream of, the white picket fence, the house, the family. But how you gonna do that and retire? You don't see the mousetrap. You don't see why you're retiring at 65. Because you're gonna spend a lot of your money seeking out the white picket fence in the house, the lease on the apartment. You're gonna spend all this money that could have gone to your retirement. You see the scam? Do you understand it now? Do you understand the mousetrap they got the average man? You know what I'm saying? They got the average man. Man, well, if I save up all this money to get this big house, big nice apartment, you know what I'm saying? I'll be living great. And then guess what? Now I got to save money to retire. Plus I got to have money to take care of this house and this apartment or this house when at any given time. And especially if you buy a house, you become you have to follow the homeowners association, So you can't really design or alter that house. Your house has to look exactly like all the other houses. You know what I'm saying? And remember, you got to retire. Remember, the boiler in your house could burst. The boiler, I heard a boiler for a house alone could cost $5,000 to $10,000 for the boiler. If the boiler just, is it just completely, you got to replace the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So do you see the mousetrap, man? The mousetrap is we get them to buy a house, we get them to invest in an apartment. He spent all the money that could have allowed him to retire sooner on acquiring all these accessories, all these liabilities. You know what I'm saying? Struggling even more. So now you're paying mortgage, you're putting money up on your mortgage, your house upkeep. You know, I don't know if you got a car loan, a car note, your health insurance, and then you're saving how much for your retirement? You're saving what? Probably $50 a month goes towards your retirement. So of course you'll retire at 65. You'll retire at a far older age because you bought into the mousetrap. You know what I'm saying? You bought into the illusion. I'm not saying you don't buy a house. You only buy a house if you're gonna make money. But the other thing about buying a house that's tricky is that, you know what I'm saying? If you're gonna own a house and it's not in a location where you'll make the most amount of money, is that an advantage? For example, let's say you got a house in the South, you got housing in the South, but you make most of your money in the North. You make most of your money in the North. Is it worth keeping that house in the South that's a little cheaper, far cheaper than the houses in the North, when you got to fly back and forth to go look at the house, see if it's okay, if it's in good condition. You still got to pay the upkeep and all that. Is it worth it? You know, this is the thing with being poor. The whole goal of poverty is to have you identify with struggle. You know, I'll give you another example. Let's say you were to get married. Let's say you were to get married and you were to have kids. You know what I'm saying? Would your significant other follow this plan of, you know what, babe, we got to retire. I want to retire soon. You know, I don't plan to live here anyway. I want to retire and move to another country as soon as possible. So, you know, we're gonna be renting multiple rooms in a apartment or a house. We're gonna rent multiple rooms so I can save all the money, I have so we can retire sooner. And we'll have money piled up on that for the kids' education, our child's education, which most likely I'll get the kid to attend a trade school or something like that. If he's not into sports or nothing like that. You might not see the point of him going to college. You know what I'm saying? Or putting him to play overseas. So if you think about it, you know what I'm saying? Think about it. Your end goal is to retire. Your priority has to be retirement. You know what I'm saying? If your goal is to retire, then the goal would be you want to retire sooner than later. It isn't, with the scams. It isn't buying into these scams where they're gonna tell you, well, you know what, guys, here's how you make. I'm gonna show you how to make 250 grand a month and still own a house, still own a nice apartment. But these are all liabilities. These are all liabilities that slow down my time to retire. I want to retire sooner. If you want to retire sooner, you will have less liabilities. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say a lot of men, let me put that logo, let me put that banner. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Let me take the banner off. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say a lot more men, man, will be going the full-time ghost route, man. They'll be becoming full-time ghost because you don't have any reason to hold on to anything here. You know what I'm saying? With Conan 19, to me, Conan 19 destroyed the homeowners market. It destroyed it. Because at any given time, if the government feels some type of way and they will ignore the statistics, you know what I'm saying? Even though it takes 2 weeks for you to get over this sickness or this sickness, they will shut down your entire town. They will close off transportation. They'll shut down the entire economy. They'll shut down the entire economy. Remember, you always got to pay your even if you own the house, if you own the whole house, you got to pay your property tax. Property tax doesn't change unless you still got to pay for your electricity and water, unless you have it all self-sufficient, you know? So let's say you were making money off your house, and when COVID-19, the pandemic happened, they shut down the entire town. Where is your money coming from? Where's the money coming from you were making from you owning a house? Where was the money? Where was the money coming from? That's why I say a lot more guys, man, you know, ghosting, you know, it's ghosting or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming ghosting or nothing. You either a full-time ghost or you seeking to suffer, man. Because after COVID-19, where they literally shut down the entire economy, they shut down the entire economy. So how are you gonna make money off owning a house and owning property? How are you making money? You would have to live off of your savings, you know, the savings or your surplus of income. Like money, you made so much money, you got a lot left over. You know, and you got to understand the way the government works. Even 9/11, you got to remember before 9/11 in the early 90s, one of the towers actually got bombed. It got bombed before 9/11, meaning, you know what I'm saying, the government does repeat things. You know, things do get repeated. You know, so you're looking at COVID-19. Like I told people this, man. We will start the first year of living outside of COVID-19 will be 2023. 2023 will be the year where we're living in a so-called post-COVID-19 world. Then 2024 will actually be when we forget about COVID-19. It will be when we're like, holy shit, man, 2023 wasn't a lucky draw. It wasn't some type of lucky thing. We're actually living in a world without COVID-19. And then 2025 will be when you drop your guard. 2025 will be when people drop their guard completely. Then most likely the government will drop COVID-19, the return of the destroyer. You know, since the homie Koala did it, man, let me, I gotta show it to you, man. You know, this right here, man. You know what I'm saying? COVID-19, shout out to the homie Koala, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The COVID-19 is still here, man. A lot of people think, yo, you know what I'm saying, something has to exist outside in the shadows. No, COVID-19 is still here waiting for the time to return, man. You know what I'm saying? The country could be shut down at any time. Anytime the country could be shut down. So I personally think by 2025, that's when people will be, oh my God, man, COVID-19, I can't even remember it. I can't even remember COVID-19. Let me see what the homie Koala said. Man, the hard truth is, can you be even full-time ghost without a remote job? Well, you know what, Koala, man, respect to you, man. This is a dope ass question. You know what I'm saying? This is why you save your money, man. If you gotta understand that even the remote work, and I know it's become, you know, some of the homies, man, shout out to some of the homies, man. They be getting at me, they be roasting me for this. They be saying I use the word scam too much, but the remote work is a scam too, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're implying that you can't live overseas or live anywhere else unless you have a remote job. So let's say you saved up, you know, let's say 3 years from now, you know, you're renting a shared room. You know, everything you do is about maximizing your mobility. You do not have any liabilities. You know what I'm saying? The way you live, you're renting a room in a house or apartment. All your stuff is in storage. So you got most of your stuff in storage. So let's say in the next 3 years you save up to 800. Let's say you saved up to, let's say $250,000. You saved $250,000 in the next 3 years. What's stopping you from going overseas, investing in a farm, investing in some type of business? I don't know, fast food joint, something. Investing in something overseas where it's making you money over there, and you'll be perfectly fine. You won't be great in America. Like, let's say you invested in a chain restaurant in Thailand. Let's say Thailand. You invest in some American theme restaurant or something like that, and it's making great money. You're living a great life in Thailand. But if you come back to America, you're living below middle class. But in Thailand, you're living amazing. You're basically middle to above middle class. What's the problem? The remote work thing is another big scam, because they're telling every American man, well, dude, if you can't live remote, if you can't get a remote job, you can't live overseas. You got to get a remote job first. You know what I'm saying? And now AI has been added to the picture. AI has been added to the picture. Very soon, man, a lot of people think this is, and I follow a lot of channels. A lot of these channels say, well, you know, it's 5 to 10 years from now. No, bro. It is literally 1.5, 1.5 years to about 3 years before this AI stuff is laced. It will be laced into everything. You know what I'm saying? It will be laced into everything we do. YouTube will be laced with AI. You know, if when you get a chance, look up a video of AI dubbing another language. You can literally now use AI to change somebody's voice, and they're dropping AI technology now that does live dubbing, live, real time. So I could be talking to a Spanish chick, and I don't speak no Spanish, and I got these AI headphones on that's hooked up to this AI in the cloud, and while she's talking to me, I hear it in English. Everything she's telling me, I hear it in English on my phone, live. The world is changing, man. Remote, you gotta look at remote workers like the miners, like the guys in the coal mine. You know what I'm saying? A lot of remote jobs are about to be replaced, man. You know what I mean? Or if not replaced, it's about to have a lot of restraint, a lot of restraint. Because the major problem with AI also is that it's too easy to share stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's too easy to share content. You know, so a lot of remote jobs where it was harder for you to share what you're doing private, it's gonna become too easy. They want to trick you to think about remote work. Like, you know, one thing I was gonna do in Haiti, I was gonna open a farm. I was gonna farm out an animal that's easy to grow and easy to eat. You know what I'm saying? Easy to eat, easy to grow, easy to eat. You know what I'm saying? I don't wanna give my plan away, but that's what I was gonna do. And I was gonna buy enough land, and this animal alone, this farm would have made me all the money I need to live extremely well over there. You know, the remote work is also, it's really just a setup to, it's a goalpost. It's to set up a goalpost to tell you that you can only live or move overseas if you have remote job. You know what I'm saying? A remote job. You know what I'm saying? God forbid you you're making money, you know, you made enough money to invest into something overseas. I don't know, maybe ice cream trucks. I don't know. Maybe in Thailand, you're like, holy shit, man, they don't got no fucking ice cream trucks here. You know what? I'm gonna rent out. I'm gonna buy like 2, 3. I'm gonna send 3 ice cream trucks in Thailand, and I'm gonna make my money selling ice cream. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing stopping you, man, or becoming your own boss. Yeah, but you gotta become an entrepreneur, man. A guy like me, I'm an entrepreneur, man. I got my hands in so many businesses, man. A lot of people don't even know what I'm doing, you know. And very soon I'm gonna be launching something very big, man. Let's just say we won't need Discord anymore. We won't need Twitter. I got my own social media I'm working on, you know, because 2020s, it's about making your own space. You know what I'm saying? 2010s was making your own website, making your own commerce website. 2020s is about making your own social media, your own space, your own forum. That's what the 2020s will be about because we can't trust anybody. You know what I'm saying? Facebook and all of them have shown if you're not an extreme leftist, progressive, you know, you got other websites. If you're not extremely a right wing, even though neither side has done anything, you know what I'm saying? We had a Republican president and Trump. What changed? You know what I'm saying? What changed with the ability to be a father? What changed during Trump? What laws were there? What changed with the marijuana bills? What changed with the prison reform? What? We had a black president for two, we had a black president in Obama for 2 terms. What changed, man? Besides things getting worse, when it comes to the morality of the country became more demoralized, you know, became demoralized. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But when it comes to business opportunities and, you know, inflation went up, a lot of stuff went up that shouldn't have gone up. You know what I'm saying? There's still no you're in a it's gotten so bad you're in an anti-heterosexual male country. The news stations are always reminding you you're a heterosexual male. Fuck you. The news stations are fuck you, you're heterosexual male. The film industry, fuck you, you're heterosexual male. You know what I'm saying? The sports networks, fuck you, you're heterosexual male. You know what I'm saying? What have you seen in the past 5 years that hasn't put the middle finger to you because you're a heterosexual male? What hasn't done that? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got to start doing reviews of trailers and movies where I could just point out, look, this isn't for you. You're a heterosexual male. This movie wasn't made for you. Don't watch it. You know what I mean? You see the trailer where they got the male as an idiot or he has no authority or what do you want to do, baby? Because we're equal. Even though I'm risking my life fighting the bad guys, we're equal. What aren't you watching that isn't sugarcoating you, disrespecting? This is why I'm saying, man, the next generation of men, you know what I mean? I'd say about the next 3 years, man, there's a rise of men, man. The age of the ghost we're here. The age of the ghost is here, man. We're in the age of the ghost. Forget all this zodiac sign bullshit. Oh, well, we're in the age of the Aries and the age of the Centaur and the Capricorn and all that bullshit. No, man. We're in the age of the ghost. You know what I'm saying? Men are being pushed to a point where, men aren't mad because, men can still make their money, Men can still make their money. The only way you can make men snap is when you take the money. You take the opportunity to obtain resources through labor and through economics, through entrepreneurship, through work. Men will snap. You know what I'm saying? Men will lose their mind if you take away their opportunity to profit. Men will lose their mind. But the opportunity to profit isn't lost. It isn't lost. So the men in the States are like, yo, yeah, we good. We're good. I still can make my money. I can still make a startup company and all that. So men are still happy. But what's going to happen? I was watching this video. It's been reported since 2019. 50% of men are single by choice. Single by choice. They're not even looking for relationships anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's in 3 years. I mean, that's 2019 to 2023. I personally think by the time 2025 happens, 2024, we're going to see a major uprise in men ghosting and men literally abandoning, men getting offended. Because right now in America, a lot of men get offended if you tell them you're going to get married, and they will reply to you in an antagonistic or very defensive or offensive manner, like, yo, man, what the fuck's wrong with you? Hell no, I'm not getting married. So men are already replying to marriage in a very aggressive way in America. Very soon, what's going to happen is men will, uh, reply to you very aggressively if you tell them, yo, you dating anybody? You dating any chick here? They're going to be, what the fuck you mean, man? Do I look like a fool? You know what I'm saying? The next progression's gonna be men, and it's happening with the passport bros thing. Men denouncing dating women here domestically, but it's been suppressed. That talking point's it's been suppressed, man. But it's gonna eventually break out into the old the old mainstream media. So your local news stations, the dinosaur media, TV, you know, news stations. It's gonna happen to them. It's coming, man. It's gonna happen, man. You know, when are you getting married? Oh man, you ask a man when he getting married today, he gets offended. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that at work. Nah, you good, yo, David, man. No problem, man. So a lot of men they're gonna alter their mind state. Men will now become very offensive and aggressive when you tell them if they're dating women here domestically. They're gonna be very angry. They're gonna be, no, man, get the fuck out of here. You gotta be stupid to still be doing that. You're gonna have a population of men that get offended if you tell them to date a woman here. You know what I'm saying? And as for the women here, they're gonna be on more drugs, more depressants. Yeah, yeah, yo, Andrew Tate is a normie married person. Yeah, Andrew Tate is a hero to married men. I've seen it with my own eyes. And Andrew Tate has normalized. Andrew Tate has further pushed, and he's risking. He might be going to jail. He might be going to jail for some charges. But Andrew Tate is basically he's basically the action. You gotta look at it like this, man. You know, you gotta look at what's his name, man? I forget his name. They don't even talk about him no more. Let me look up the image. Yeah, there it is. Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels died. Kevin Samuels was basically the Steve Harvey-ish. He was a Steve Harvey, a Steve Harvey / gay friend of a girl. Because, he was giving advice on telling men how to wipe their ass. You know what I'm saying? He was asking men about their private parts. But Kevin Samuels was not, he was like a Steve Urkel. He was a Steve Urkel when it came to the manosphere. Steve Urkel. When it came to the red pill, he was a Steve Urkel. And Andrew Tate is basically your Stefan, or your action movie star. You know what I'm saying? Let me use movies. To use movie sense, basically Andrew Tate is Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? He's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, Stallone, Tom Cruise. That's Andrew Tate. He's the action. He's the action red pillar. You know what I'm saying? You know, Kevin Samuels was known for talking and sitting and talking to women. You're average at best. He was a talker. Andrew Tate is the action figure of the red pill. Look, he's karate, he's doing karate, he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Andrew Tate is the action figure. He's the action movie star of the red pill. But at the end of the day, it's going nowhere. So the red pill has finally reached its climax. You know what I'm saying? You had a lot of first you had what was his name? You know, MGTOW's Freedom. You had him, a former married man. You know what I mean? He went on TV and they set him up and he got set up, he chose it. Then you got Kevin Samuels. You're average at best. You know, he's Steve Urkel. You got the glasses. You know, he's presentable for a job. You could take him to a job interview. You're average at best. Then Andrew Tate comes. Andrew Tate is all action. He's like a movie star. You know what I'm saying? And now he's the cool guy. People weren't looking up to Kevin Samuels, man. What straight man? Well, I mean, some men were. Some people got tattoos of Kevin Samuels. But Kevin Samuels wasn't like, yo, man, I'm scared of him, man. Like, you know, he might whoop my ass if I don't listen to him. Andrew Tate's more of, oh man, he knows karate. He's not a pussy, man. I thought all the guys that spoke the red pill, they were bitches, man. I thought all the guys that spoke the red pill were bitch made fucking cowards that was scared of pussy, man. Andrew Tate is all action, no holds barred. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the MRA, they failed. There was a bunch of men protesting in the streets with signs. That ain't cool. When you picture men in action, when you think of men committing action, you think of fighting for their country and their rights. The MRA, men's rights activists, you know what I'm saying? They messed up, man. If they would have fought for men's rights when it came to prison sentences, like if they were fighting for the real perspectives where a man could actually fight for it, you're not gonna win marriage. Marriage, let me tell you why the marriage laws will never change. You know, I gotta always show this because this is why the MRA failed.
It's so important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States. It's so important, guys. So. It's so important, guys. So important. By the way, women are the majority of voters in the United States.
And this is why the MRA failed, man. They were fighting for something that went against the female vote. You know what I'm saying? If it goes against the female vote, you're gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna fail. And Andrew Tate is just the action figure scam. You know what I'm saying? The Manosphere's had all the action figures. We've had war veterans. Come get your Manosphere action figure. Andrew Tate. He's got gorilla grip. You know what I'm saying? With action, with kung fu grip, Andrew Tate. Or come get your Kevin Samuels action figure with the ability to sit down and you pull the thing behind it. You're average at best. You're average at best. You know what I'm saying? Or come get your other action figure. You know what I'm saying? MGTOW's Freedom, a former married soldier who lost everything. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. The Manosphere action figures, every type of man. Or come get your president of the Manosphere who wifed up an escort and a hooker. The Manosphere action figures, we have every type of man you want is an action figure. You know what I'm saying? Come get your better bachelor. You know what I'm saying? An action figure that promotes getting a vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? Getting a vasectomy. Come get your better bachelor action figure. Get a vasectomy. You know what I'm saying? Come get your Rollo Tomasi action figure. Comes with a wig and comes with loving, telling you to wife up a groupie. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on, dude. Come on, man. It comes with a cigar. You know what I mean? Talking points. We've had every action figure you could think of in a fucking manosphere. Come get your Sandman doll, and Sandman now is interviewing trannies and talking to them and openly. Now I get why the logo is a woman with a man's body. You know what I'm saying? When I saw Sandman interviewing I had to unsub to his channel, man. I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, why the fuck you interviewing a tranny? Like, how does this help men that you're interviewing a tranny, Sandman? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Come get your Undead Chronic action figure. You know what I'm saying? Roast women and say, no hymen, no diamond. Even though you can get, a woman could get surgery for a hymen, or even though a woman could still give blowjobs and hand jobs and her hymen will still be great. You know what I'm saying? Come get the Undead Chronic action figure that tells you you should get married if she's got a hymen. You should put yourself to the family court if she's got a hymen. Come on, man. The Manosphere's had all the action figures. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy right now. So to me, man, it's going on, man. There's a bunch of that going on. But to get back to what I was saying is, man, you got to stop struggling, man. You got to Fresh and Fit. Oh, the Fresh and Fit Barbie. Yeah. Fresh and Fit action figure comes with posable thoughts. Posable thoughts with an OnlyFans discount. And also a free lifetime supply of closeted men. You know what I'm saying? Get your Fresh and Fit action figure. Come on, man. Come get your Destiny action figure and come out the closet in 30 years and dye your hair blue while saying you're still masculine. Come get your Destiny action figure. Comes with hair dye. Come on, man. These guys are jokes, man. This is why the Manosphere is all over the internet. This is why Andrew Tate's getting all these mainstream interviews. Because they're like, these guys are fucking idiots. They're literally idiots, man. They're not a threat. They're not changing anything. Or you come get your Just Pearlie's action figure. Your Just Pearlie's doll includes an action figure of King Riches, who volunteered to be her bitch. Come get your Just Pearlie's action figure. It comes with King's Riches. It comes with King Riches. You know what I'm saying? And he's in the fetal position. Comes with King's Riches. He's in the fetal position. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. The Manosphere is a joke, man. When I saw Andrew Tate getting interviewed on, what is that? BBC, getting interviewed by mainstream people, they know, man, it's a joke. These guys are jokes and they're not going to change anything. In fact, they're making men more susceptible to the problems. The red pill preaches one thing: stay here, struggle. You got to struggle, bro. You got to grind, struggle every day, dude. Come a 5-figure, 6-figure dude, and stay here until you die of struggling. You know what I'm saying? The number one killer of Americans is stress. Number one killer is stress. Because what goes with stress? Struggle. You can't have struggle without stress. And you can't have stress without struggle. You know what I'm saying? Those two go hand in hand. Struggle and stress, man. They come together. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, you're talking about Jordan fucking Peterson. Clean your room. If you clean your room and follow these 12 steps, you'll become a greater man and you'll become a better man, and I swear. and your daughter will be a single mom. You know what I'm saying? He got 12 steps to clean your room, and his daughter's a single mom. Come on, man. Jordan Lee Peterson, man. It's like the red pill is nothing but failures. Be a single mom. Be a single mom specialist. At 40 years old, be proud. At 45, be proud that you're a single mother expert. You know what I'm saying? The whole manosphere, the whole red pill movement is nothing but L's. It's L's all day, every day. Yeah, man, guys, it's now the 80-20 rule. Guys, it's now the 95 rule. Who cares? Who cares? You know what I'm saying? This is why they fear the black pill, and this is why I'm changing this channel to more of a Casper Pill channel, man. I'm gonna get the ghosting overlay very soon. You know, we gonna move, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against ghosting. I know the future is the full-time ghost, man. What man, let me ask you something. What does the 80-20 rule mean to you? When you don't plan to date women here, when you don't plan to have a family here, how does it affect you when it's not on the table? It's not an option. You know what I'm saying? The 80-20 rule doesn't mean anything to a man that says, if it's domestic, I don't fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with messing with nothing domestic. You know what I'm saying? And I will be what's that word? I will be celibate for 2 months, and then I'll fly overseas and become uncelibate. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say a lot of men are ghosting. A lot of men are, like the homie saying, reject. Yeah. A lot of men have rejected, and like I said, the future. Let me put the banner. Let me put the banner on. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? This is the future, man. You either ghosting in society, or you a full-time ghost. This is the future. No struggling, no stress at all. Everything is about avoiding struggle and stress. I mean, you're in a country where a man's wife could say she can remove consent. You're in a country where consent can be reversed. It's done. And a lot of guys in this sector, man, the guys that know about the Casper Pill, the guys that know about that FTG, that full-time ghosting, we don't care no more. We've evolved. We're not attached. We're not attached to, yo, dude, here's 5 words to make your woman submissive. We don't care about that. Why would I, as a man, have to go make a woman submissive? You know what I'm saying? Why would I choose that struggle? Why would I choose to work? What man works? Look, dude, look, guys, here's 5 steps to make your woman submissive. Why the fuck would I do that? Why the fuck would that even be an option? You know what I'm saying? I got to work and be stressful. Look, guys, I've been dating her for 2 months, and I finally got her to submit to me. What the fuck, man? You're a loser. You're a failure, man. If you had to make your woman submissive, you failed. That means you actually accepted a lack of submission into your life. She's not submissive from the goal. From the start, you failed. You failed. Failure. Failure. I'm saying, I mean, I forget how the failure thing goes on fucking Super Smash Brothers. Let me put a good voice to it. You failed. You're a failure. You know what I'm saying? You're a failure. You got to handle her, guys. This is you know what I'm saying? I know I no longer go by MGTOW. This is Darius. This is Darius. I'm gonna show you. Here's 5 steps to keep your girl behaved. You know what I'm saying? Dude, man, we with that full-time ghosting, man. Any man who has to work for the woman he's with for her to become, if she's a project, you failed. You failed because that means you allowed entry. You allowed entry into your vicinity and into your space, and she did not meet your standards. You failed. You're a failure. The red pill has led to nothing but failure, man. Besides a lot of men saying hypergamy, she's not yours, it's your turn, bro. The wall. Like, what else has it done? What has it done, bro? What laws have changed, man? I didn't see one law change under the red pill, and the red pill's been out. The whole manosphere boomed. It blew up in the 2006, what was it, 2015? What the homie Koala said, get on that grind, dude. Pick up a second job for her. You know what I'm saying? What does that do for your retirement? I'm gonna tell you something, man. This is the number one thing you gotta position your life on: retirement. If it doesn't benefit your retirement, it ain't worth it. It's really that simple. If it doesn't benefit your retirement, and if it risks you retiring sooner than later, it's not worth nothing. And if you think like this, that means domestically there is nothing of value for you. Besides making your money, there is no value. You know what I'm saying? And what I tell guys about the struggle porn thing is you gotta give up struggle. You gotta stop trying to struggle, man. You gotta change your life completely. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of guys, I'm gonna make a separate video for it. I mean, I'm closing in on 600 videos. So the goal this August, I'm gonna hit that 600 mark. 600 videos. In the manosphere, I probably got them. And this channel, the channel YouTube showed you this channel started in 2007, but I didn't upload nothing much in 2007. I didn't really start moving with this channel until 2018 or something. But I'm gonna hit that 600 mark, man. 600, and most likely I need to hit about 1,000 subs. If I can hit I need at least 1,100, and I'll be good. I'll be good, because that will basically tell YouTube to leave me alone a little, But basically, man, I realize all I desire is not to be tethered to my job when it invades my personal life. Yeah. But the thing I'm trying to say, David, is this, man. I'm trying to tell every guy this. You got to change your life to benefit mobility. Where you live now, you no longer can find comfort here because you're not planning to retire here. That means, I'm in that position. I'm trying to change things too. I'm not perfect. I'm not, the stuff I'm talking about, I haven't reached it yet. I'm trying. That's my goal. But you got to position your life to maximize your mobility. That means, man, if you have an apartment, unless it benefits your career, as in you have your office in your apartment, your office is in your apartment, all your business is in your apartment. If it's not that situation, you got to downsize. You got to downgrade your lifestyle now. Because if the goal is retirement, you got to downsize your life. The Japanese men, they're ahead of us. They're ahead of the Japanese and the Chinese men. They're ahead of Americans because they've given up on the struggle. They no longer suffer from struggle porn addiction. Like in Japan, some guys are working one job and they just rent this one little room. They work once. They don't work that much anymore. They're like, yo, why the fuck am I working 40, 80 hours a week to struggle to rent an apartment, to struggle? Why am I working to struggle when out of nowhere the government can just shut the whole country down? So a lot of men are adapting. And trust me, man, a lot more men are realizing, yup, That apartment floor, I don't need that. I just need a room. I need a room, access to a toilet, and a place to take a bath. As for my storage, I'll rent a storage facility. I'll be paying $20 a month or $15 a month to rent a storage facility to store my valuables, maybe my instrument, my stuff, my extra stuff, whatever. I'll have a storage facility. And then I'll live like this. I'll be saving money. My rent will go from thousands to probably $400 to $500 a month. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be living in a nice neighborhood. I mean, super nice. Because right now, man, the world has changed. 2020, the year 2000 was about roommates. Get yourself a roommate. And once you can afford to live without a roommate, get yourself your own apartment and your own house. 2010s changed everything. Now you got Airbnb. You can now experience living in a mansion. If you want to live in a mansion, you could do that. You could. Just Airbnb it. If you're like, dude, I have to experience it. I want to know how it's like to live in a mansion. I want to experience that. Yo, go Airbnb a mansion. Go do it. You got to get it out your system. Go do it. Go Airbnb a mansion. 2010s, the housing market completely changed. We're in the age of the nomadic male, man. We're in the age of nomadicism and damn, what they call it when you live without you don't spend a lot of money. You're not minimalism. Minimalism. We're in the age of nomadicism and minimalism. You know what I'm saying? Because now you can rent shared rooms. Dude, when I was in Texas, I was living in a super suburb, extremely great suburban community. You know what I'm saying? It was like $500 a month to live in one of the best parts in Houston. Great neighborhood, amazing. I had my own big room, all that. I was living good, This is the future of a man. The future is, yeah, dude, I just rent this room in a nice house, in a nice community, while you're saving money. Like, think about it. If your rent is $1,000, let's say your rent is $1,500. If you were to rent a shared room, it would most likely be $500 a month. You know what I'm saying? That means you're pocketing $1,000 a month. You're saving $1,000. And then if you're planning to eventually retire overseas or go overseas a lot, you're sitting on money. You know what I'm saying? You gotta understand the scam that a lot of people fall for. Oh man, I'm paying $2,000 for my apartment, and I'm saving money to travel. How are you saving money while you're paying a lot of money for your rent? Or you could be that guy where, yeah, man, I pay $500. I'm renting this room, electricity paid for, water paid for, internet paid for. I'm good. I'm good, man. I just got to buy my food. I'm good. And even that could be paid for, so I'm good. I'm living a good life, man. You know what I'm saying? While some of my friends are struggling to own a whole house or a whole apartment and they're not going to start a family. Just think about the man who's pro-struggle, who's got a struggle addiction, struggle porn addiction. He's got a whole house, a whole apartment, no children, no wife. He's got all this room for no reason. And he's just spending a lot of money on debts, spending a lot of money on the rent for no reason. Once you're not planning to have children or family, then your situation when it comes to housing has to change. You have to start living like that. Your life has to reflect that. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between a full-time ghost and a bachelor. The bachelor is living without a woman until he can. yo, man, I'm a bachelor. I just party and this and that. You know what I'm saying? In my house, I host house parties and this and that. But you're hosting these house parties, what, once a week, once every month or so? So you're spending all this money for nothing. You know what I'm saying? For nothing. And you could always rent with Airbnb. Airbnb, you could rent a house for a house party. Everything has changed, man. You have to adapt. You can't be in the year 2023 with a 2000 mind state, a 2000 mind state, or should I say a 2000 software. We're in the year 2023, man. Upgrade. You got to upgrade your software, man. Upgrade to the year 2023 where men have more options than ever before. You know what I'm saying? A man has more options than ever before when it comes to his living situation. We've never lived at a time where you could literally say, yep, I've lived in a mansion. I rented it for one day at an Airbnb. Oh, yeah, I lived in a townhouse. I rented one in an Airbnb. Things that in the year 2000 or the year the 90s. In the 90s, you could only dream about experiencing life in a mansion. You could only dream. It was a fictional thing. Unless somebody, you know what I mean, some of y'all too young, the Yellow Pages, unless some millionaire left in the Yellow Pages, I'll be renting out my house for $2,000 a week. I'll be renting my house. You didn't have that in the 90s, man. The 90s, you didn't have that. You didn't have wanted. I'm looking to rent a room in my condo. I'm looking to rent a room, $600. You didn't have that in the 90s, man. You didn't have none of that. You know what I'm saying? But in the year 2023, everything is possible. Think about it. You're like, yo, I'm living in Jersey, but I'm looking for a new job in Philly. I'm looking for a new job in Texas. You know what I'm saying? And I could drop this shared room at any time. You know what I'm saying? I just got to pay my security deposit, which was what, $500. I could pay that and leave. You know what I'm saying? This is the new age. This is why I say the Zoomers, as much as guys make fun of the Zoomers, look at these Zoomers, man. They're fighting for their genders. And the thing is, most of the people fighting for their genders are actually millennials. It's usually the millennials that are identifying as they, that, them, and, you know, Zoomers as well, whatever. But the Zoomers are evolving, man. Zoomers will grow up. By the time the Zoomers reach 30, they'll be like, what? You motherfuckers really struggled? You guys are losers, man. You millennials, you Gen Xers, you're losers. You guys really used to struggle to live in a big, nice house, knowing you could lose your job at any time. You know, the government's raising taxes and all that. You guys used to still be invested in owning a home. Oh, you know, and struggling. You guys were losers. Because, you know, every generation makes fun of the generation before them. They pick on their flaws. You know, they pick on their flaws, and the Zoomers, man, they're gonna be picking on millennials and Gen Xers. They're gonna be joking and laughing. Because they're gonna look at you like, oh, you guys struggled for nothing. You know what I'm saying? You're struggling for nothing when you still gotta pay for your retirement in a few years. I know it's hard to hear this because, you know, growing up as a millennial, or if you're a Zoomer who was raised with a millennial mindset, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what Gen Z is all about material. Well, Gen Z is mostly, one thing I've learned about Gen Z is about food, man. Gen Z is really invested in eating. You know what I'm saying? Gen Z is really the foodie age. You know, Gen Z is deep. When it comes to materials, it's about what they could put in their mouth. I mean, look at Chipotle. Dude, Chipotle You got to think about it. Most of the millennials that had the Gen Z or the Gen Xers that had Gen Z or whatever, dude, a lot of them were single moms. They didn't cook, or the modern age woman didn't cook for their kids. So their kids were raised on Chipotle, Panamera bread, fucking Fridays. Gen Z is highly invested. They said Gen Z is so invested in food that oh yeah, generation, or the microwave generation. Yeah. Dude, they said Gen Z is so invested in food that Nike, a lot of clothing brands are suffering because Gen Z doesn't really care about clothes like they used to. I mean, Gen Z, they're rocking 90s mom jeans. You know what I'm saying? And they're bringing back the 70s bell bottoms. Gen Z, they said, is so invested in food. You know what I'm saying? They don't really, you know, you'll see some with clothes, you know, Versace and all that, but I guarantee the Gen Z are wearing Versace and all that. They're eating Chipotle. Like the clothes don't match what they're eating. You know what I'm saying? How are you wearing Versace and you're wearing Gucci and you're eating like a McDonald's cheeseburger, or you're eating, you know what I'm saying? Gen Z is the fast food generation, man. They love it. They love eating outside, man. You know what I'm saying? They're the DoorDash generation. DoorDash, Chipotle. Gen Z, they said, really loves food. You know, they're really deep into food, man. So to me, man, you got to stop struggling, man. Stop struggling. Stop struggling and looking at struggle like an achievement, you know? And this is part one. You know, this is part one of the struggle porn stream. Because you know, part two, I'll have the stream open. We could talk to some people and they could talk about their struggles and realize that a lot of their struggles are choices. You made a choice to struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say, man, I'm going to be changing this channel. We're going to be heading to more of a full-time ghosting channel because, you know, I'm still going to be dropping a black pill, but I look at it as, you know, it's time to evolve, man. You know, evolve and beyond. Oh, my homie, yeah. My brother Nezzy Nez was good, man. Hope you, I'm looking for your thoughts on that document I sent you, man, that book I was writing. But yeah, my nephew, a Gen Z, orders in DoorDash almost every day. You hear that? Almost every day, because they aren't the generation that was raised on a home cooked meal. You know what I mean? Us millennials and Gen Xers, we could say, yo, man, used to come home, yo, food was cooked, bro. I learned to cook. Gen Z was like, oh, man, my mom used to give me some curly fries from Five Guys, man. Mom used to give me some curly fries or some Panamera bread. Oh, man, mom used to bring that Panamera bread fresh. It was so fresh, that Chipotle, dude. Oh, man, those were the good times. I miss when my mom used to bring me Chipotles. You know, oh, it was awesome. You know, she would bring me Chipotle and she would hop on Instagram, dude. She'd hop on Instagram, you know, and just give me some Chipotle. Oh, it was awesome. You know, imagine how much of salary goes on that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But the fathers, man, you got to remember, I keep telling guys, man, the 2010s solidified the pink pill man. The pink pill man that literally will just, yeah, dude, I work hard and my wife don't want to cook nothing, so she's always ordering food out. I tell guys, we're in the age of the pink pill, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me pull out that banner. Where is it? Yeah, it is. This is it. You know, this is where we're at, man. This is where we're at. The pink pilled man. This right here, this represents the man of today. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? At least in the, you know, growing up in the 90s, the movies we watched, you know, dude, pops came home, mom was cooking or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It was still a household. But this is the age we're in. And look at and look at what you don't realize how perfect this image is. Look at all the sponsors behind them. Lexus, NAACP, you know what I'm saying? AT&T. This is the age of man we're in today. You know what I'm saying? This is the age we're in, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, worshiping your girl even though she don't cook nothing. She don't cook for the kids. Oh my God, honey, what did you bring us? Oh, she brought some Panamera. She brought some Popeyes. She brought some Church's chicken. Well, what's that place where they don't open on Sunday? I forget it. What's that chicken spot they don't open on Sunday? Fuck, I forget it. You know what I'm saying? She brought some Popeyes, man, for the kids. Oh, honey, you look tired. How hard was it to drive and pick up? And now she don't even gotta drive, just DoorDash the food. DoorDash it. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. This is what Gen Z is growing up with, and Gen Alpha is gonna have it even more. Think about it. Gen Z grew up when mom used to drive them to the fast food restaurant to pick up the food, the Panameras and all that. Gen Alpha is growing up where everything is door dashed. The food is brought in. They don't need to go outside. They don't even need to see the sun or nothing. And then of course Conan 19 reinforced that you should be introverted, you know. But you know, man, I wanna thank y'all for the, staying on the stream. And like I said, you gotta stop struggling. Stop your addiction to struggle porn. The number one pornography, the number one fetish in America is struggling. Number one, struggling. You know what I'm saying? You bought a nice you bought a $50,000 car, and that didn't help you retire anytime sooner. You know what I'm saying? You're so loyal to struggling for consumerism, the validation from it, that you will increase the time for your retirement. You know what I'm saying? Most millennials will most likely retire at 65, 70 if they make it to that age. You know what I'm saying? I think Gen Z might retire sooner, because Gen Z is gonna be like, fuck it, bro. It's already shown that less men are working full-time jobs now. And you know what I mean? I know some Gen Zs where they got a setup where it's a roommate setup. They room together, and they're not rooming together to ever change it. It's like, dude, we're gonna work these little jobs, man. We're gonna roommate together, bro. And you gotta understand, a lot of Gen Zs are the so-called incel generation. The incel generation, as in, dude, they accept and believe they will never get into a relationship. So a lot of their money goes towards gaming, video games, you know what I'm saying, action figures, toys, comics, collecting. It's not going towards having a family or any of that. So this is the future, man. You gotta stop struggling, man. Struggle is a choice. You can't be saying, yo, dude, I work 40 hours, man, 80 hours just to keep a roof over my head. Oh, so you're choosing the struggle? Yeah, I work 80 hours, man, just to pay this car note for this Lexus. So you're choosing the struggle? You got to start understanding, man, there's nothing positive. There's nothing, there's no accomplishment from choosing to struggle. You choosing a struggle is a cope, it's a fail, man. It's a L, man. It's a failure. Because guess what? If it doesn't increase the chances of you retiring sooner, it's failure. That's why they got the poor people by the balls, man. Poor people will say, I'm saving money while expending more. I'm gonna retire early by choosing to work harder to struggle. You know what I'm saying? Once you've already chosen that, yo, man, overseas, this country is no longer a place for you anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's time, man. It's time. You got full-time ghosts, man. The struggling has to stop. It's time to it's time to choose your mobility and your freedom as priority. That's got to be the number one thing in your life, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm shooting for. That's what I'm aiming for. That's what I hope every man is aiming for. Your mobility is your freedom. You got to be able to drop everything at a drop of a dime. You have to choose the path of least resistance. That's how you succeed. It's the path of least resistance, man. The boomers burned that into everyone's head. Oh man, struggle, millennials. You need Gen Xers. Then the Gen Xers burned that into the millennials' heads. Yeah, man, you got to struggle for everything. You got to struggle, man. You know, struggle builds character. No, struggle builds loyalty to struggling. You know what I'm saying? You have to, in life, man, the people that are winning have figured out the easier way to do things, the smart way of doing things. The people that are losing are the ones that chose to struggle. Yo, I did it the hardest way, man, with the most struggle. You know what I'm saying? Who the hell would choose to struggle, man? You got to start understanding that you struggling isn't success. You're not being successful by choosing to struggle. Like right now, you know what I'm saying? I was struggling with comic books. You know, I make comic books here and there. I struggled so much since 2014. I was working on comic books. And I finally arrived at a point where, man, I had to develop an entire new format. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna struggle no more, man. Struggling is for failures, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it's by choice, it's failing. If you're struggling because you can't control what's going on and you just got to overcome it, yeah, I could admire that. I could respect that. You know, if you had no choice and the struggle's there, cool. But if you're choosing to struggle, I can't respect that. You know what I'm saying? There's no room to respect it. Well, dude, you know how hard I work to keep a roof over my head. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why? When you plan to retire. So you're choosing to delay your retirement. Yeah, man, you know, I work so hard to keep a roof under my head. Dude, yo, man, just find a place with a shared room, rent the room. Then you don't got to work no more. You don't got to work that hard no more. You come to that rented room, you lock it up, and you could buy soundproof stuff. If you're like, I want more privacy, then dude, soundproof the fucking spot. You know? Struggling is a choice, man. You know, when it isn't a choice, when it's something forced on you or it's situational, cool, you got to handle that. But if you're choosing to struggle, you're making $600 a week, but your rent where you live is like, you know, $1,500 or $2,000. You come on, man. You got to do better. Stop struggling, man. But other than that, man, it's been Hold the Truth Hostage, man. I want to thank everybody for watching the stream. And please, you know, stop struggling, man. Stop. Struggling doesn't make you any better. You know what I'm saying? Choosing to struggle only proves how stupid you are. It's time to stop the struggling, man. But, you know, it's been Hold the Truth Hostage, where if the truth was so important, we wouldn't negotiate with lies. We would hold the truth hostage. And yeah, the channel's about to change, man. I'm working on some things. We will be pivoting towards a ghosting channel. You know, I think ghosting will be healthier for most people in the long run. It'll be far less stressful. You know what I'm saying? It's still gonna be the black pill when it comes to talking, being honest, but even that will start changing, because even a black pill like I told guys on a video, the black pill is an American experience. You know, it's an American experience. You can't be black pilled overseas, man. If you don't got freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got some homies, man. Shout out to the homies in Britain, Ireland, Scotland. Some of those homies hit me up in from Europe, you know. But notice, to experience the black pill, somebody in Europe has to contact someone in America. You know what I mean? In Britain, you don't got the right to bear arms. You don't have the right to freedom of press. You don't have the right to freedom of speech. The black pill is a very American thing, man. It's a very American experience. You can experience the black pill out in public in America. You know what I'm saying? Overseas, they gotta run proxy servers. They gotta run all these things just to experience it. You know? You know what I mean? That's the beauty of America. You get freedom of speech. Yes, it's suppressed. You know what I mean? Just because it's free doesn't mean it isn't suppressed. You know? But you know, pretty soon we're gonna be pivoting the channel to a ghosting only channel. You know, every talking point will be from a perspective of ghosting. Every talking point. Because at the end of the day, man, you know, what do we care? Like you know, before I wrap it up, shout out to the homie Shadowback. He shared a video with me about women having anxiety. It's, you know, it's up 27%, but we know it's a lie. We know that anxiety is most likely, I'd say 40 to 60%. Because, you know, the manosphere is known that out of 10 women, 3 to 4 are on anxiety medicine. That's 40%. And that was back when the manosphere started, around when it started bubbling and getting views in 2014 and 14 and so on. So now we're over 7 years past that. We know it's got to be 40 to 60% of women are on anxiety pills. But guess what? Guess what? To a full-time ghost, what does that have to do with me? You know what I mean? What does that have to do with us? We don't, you know, what does that have to do with us when marriage ain't on the table? You're not gonna get married here. You're not even planning to retire and live here. So how does this affect a man that's a full-time ghost? It doesn't. It doesn't affect us at all. You know what I'm saying? It's great to know. It's great to know of the information. It is great to know about it, you know. But at the end of the day, man, when you a full-time ghost, when that's the goal, when that's your absolute goal, is to be a full-time ghost, none of this stuff matters to you. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, some people say, well, yo, hold the truth hostage. You're going to become jaded. You're going to become jaded to domestic things. So what about it? The domestics is already jaded towards me. You know what I'm saying? Remember, I'm a heterosexual male, right? I'm toxic. I'm toxic masculinity, right? I'm sexist. I'm the most dangerous thing to children. They even said, man, they said some chick this chick, I think her name is something Cruz. She's a cheerleader, becoming a congresswoman or some bullshit like that. She said the most dangerous thing to children is a heterosexual male. This is a woman holding political office. She said the most dangerous thing to children is a heterosexual male. You know what I'm saying? Politician. There's literally this Muslim chick that said the most dangerous thing is a white man. She said the most dangerous thing to society is a white man and white supremacy while she's married to a white man. You got to understand, man. You know, being a ghost, man, the system has already said you're toxic, you're poison. You know what I'm saying? It's poisoning young boys, man. I don't think Gen Alpha, in my honest opinion, you know, I would give Gen Alpha an award. If a kid comes up to me, he's a Gen Alpha, like, he's 18. Let's say he's become 18, he's Gen Alpha. By then I'll be a lot older. And he's like, yo, hold the truth hostage. What's up, bro? I watch some of your older content, man. I'm Gen Alpha. What's up? And I'll be like, damn, dude, you made it. You actually made it out of school and you're still heterosexual? Wow. That's an accomplishment. You made it. Wow. That's how it's gonna be. We're gonna have to congratulate Gen Alpha. My God, man, you made it, dude. You graduated high school and you're still a heterosexual male. You know what I'm saying? You're not on drugs. You didn't get a vasectomy. Congrats. You're normal. We're going to have to give Gen Alpha awards for being normal. Like, oh my God, dude, you made it. Gen Alpha, you made it, bro. You made it out of school. You made it, dude. You made it out of school and you're still normal. Oh God. Congrats. Congratulations, Gen Alpha. You made it, man. Think about it, man. I know, Koala out here dying, he laughing, but, think about it, dude. Think about the progression. They started rewarding, I think it's either the millennials, us, or Gen Z started getting awards for trying. You know what I'm saying? To break down their competitive nature, break down their individuality. Everyone gets an award, so no one should be individual. Now with Gen Alpha, they're trying to press, they're trying to tell Gen Alpha to get vasectomies. They're trying to have them identify as a girl or a boy. Gen Alpha, man, I'm gonna start. You know what? I'm gonna go on one of those websites, man. I'm gonna make a certificate. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a certificate to congratulate you for still being normal. You know what I'm saying? Still being normal. Because Gen Alpha is dealing with a lot of shit, man. They're telling you women can be masculine when in actuality, there's no such thing as a masculine woman. You know what I'm saying? There's really just a more aggressive woman or just more muscular woman. There's no such thing as a masculine woman. You know what I'm saying? They utilize it on the black women first. They say, well, the black women, they're very masculine. No, they're just very muscular built. For the love of God, they were bred, most of them were bred from slaves. You know what I'm saying? If your father was picking, if your great-great-granddaddy was picking that cotton, you know what I'm saying, over 6 hours, over 8 to 12 hours a day, that muscle would be amazing. You know what I'm saying? If you're bred from slaves, of course you should have more muscle density. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you were bred to have more muscle density. So they first identified, look, the black women, they're more masculine. And and the reason they did that is, it's always a racial joke where they had, what they did was because I was talking to some of the homies on the Discord, and what they do, the way they bait the white guys is this. The way they bait white guys is this. Look, we're only doing it to them. We're only adding Planned Parenthoods to the minorities. We'll never do it to our own. You know what I mean? This isn't a government test to see how efficient it is so we can eventually put it in the white community. It's not that. It's not that at all. We're just experimenting and fucking around with the minorities. It'll never get to the majority. Syphilis, the Tuskegee experiment, it will never get to the majority. Then Conan 19 happens. Now we're forcing you to get medicated, and we're putting these needles into you. You know what I'm saying? That's the trope. I mean, a lot of the white homies is waking up, man. Respect to the white homies I be talking to. A lot of them are waking up to the trap. They're waking up to the trap of, you know what I'm saying, where they sell you on white pride and they sell you on, there are white women, man. There are women. We got to fight for our women. And a lot of white guys are waking up and saying, nah, I'm good. That ain't my woman. That's the government's woman. You know what I'm saying? You can't fool me, Tommy Lauren. You ain't getting sympathy from me because you're a white woman with blonde hair and I'm a white man. That doesn't mean shit to me. I know in the eyes of the government, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, what's good? Hold the truth, man. It don't matter to me. So a lot of white guys are waking up too, man. And the white guys are waking up because Barack Obama, man, Barack Obama helped free a lot of white men, man. He helped free a lot of white brothers, man. A lot of the white homies got freed from Obama. You know what I'm saying? All that fake guilt, all that fake responsibility, Obama threw it out the water. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the white homies came, yo, man, y'all had a black president, man. He ain't do shit for y'all. You know what I'm saying? He's still locked up for drugs and all. Y'all had a president that was one of y'all. He didn't do nothing for you. Now you get it. They're all puppets. You know what I mean? All the politicians are puppets. But hey, man, black guy, you had to see it yourself. You had to experience it yourself. And guess what, black guy? You experienced it twice. You got Kamala Harris, the VP, still fucking you over. Now you get it. Now you get it. And you know, and man, and I know I wasn't a slave owner, man. I'm me. You know what I'm saying? Because the way they work, the way the psychology works is like this. They'll tell the white people, man, you're still responsible for slavery, and they want the white people to live in the past of slavery. You know, they want that guilt. They make a lot of money off that white guilt, scam. Hey, white kid, you were a slave owner, but dude, I'm from Poland. Like, I'm from fucking Poland, man. My family just moved here. What the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But a lot of white guys are waking up to saying, "Oh, it's a grift, man. It's race baiting, and most importantly, a lot of white guys are realizing that, yo, man, this is denying me a future. Like, how come y'all keep me in the past? Why don't you let me live in my present, man? Let me live in my present to make a future. Come on, man. I'm not a fucking slave owner. Fuck you." And then on the black sector, they're telling black people, well, it's still the 1950s, man. You know, y'all Negroes still need to have a dream. You know what I'm saying? Still Martin Luther King and all that old bullshit that don't mean nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all still need to identify with the 1950s. You know, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Civil rights and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff. I need to identify with that. So the goal is to keep blacks and whites in the past, but from different spectrums. You keep the white people in the 1800s, you know what I'm saying? 1800s, and you keep the blacks in the 1950s. You know what I'm saying? 50s and 60s. The goal is to never allow them to have a present. That's why when I saw Kanye West, man, Kanye to me, man, Barack Obama created, man, he empowered Kanye. Barack Obama never invited any blacks, never talked to them. Trump treated Kanye West like a human being. And Trump further inspired Kanye to say, yo, fuck it. Fuck it, man. Democrats haven't done shit for us, man. Hillary Clinton brought some fucking hot sauce to an interview. Joe Biden interviewed a fucking former hooker and stripper, Cardi B. Fuck the Democrats. That's what, you know what I mean? And Kanye said something. Kanye said something huge, something literally generational. It literally freed a lot of blacks and whites, man. When Kanye said slavery was a choice, yo, the ramifications of that speech, a lot of white guys were like, oh, whoa, wow, holy shit. A lot of black people were like, oh my God, he really said that. He voted Republican. Then he said slavery was a choice. Do we have a choice to think other than for the Democrats? Do we have a choice to be non-progressive? Oh my God. Kanye West. oh my God, you know what I'm saying? A lot of change broke from black people's minds, and a lot of white people were like, oh my God, what is he saying? You know, I said that. I used to think that way. I wasn't wrong. Because at the end of the day, you could die for your freedom. You could fight till the death. You know what I'm saying? You could fight to the death, man. So it was crazy, man. The homie JP was good, man. Kanye West, man. When it's all said and done, man, Kanye West will be one of the most influential human beings to have ever lived. Especially, you know, his voice will echo. That's why they hate Kanye. They like, man, he said blacks had a choice, and they in the youth still support him. I was working with a young a Gen Z, a Zoomer. He must have been like 19 or 20, and he's like, dude, Kanye is like, he's like my Picasso. He's like, dude, Kanye is like a godlike being to me, man. You know, he made me do fashion. He's just so he means everything to me. And they hate that, man. They hate that Kanye West, who isn't a Democratic. You know, he doesn't ride the Democrats. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't ride them raw. Because most black celebrities, man, they should get their asses checked. They should get their asses checked because they've been sitting on the Democrats' cocks for years. You know what I'm saying? They've been riding that Democrat, you know, no homo, pause, whatever the fuck. They've been riding the Democrats for decades. I remember me and JP, shout out to the homie JP, man. Me and JP were on stereo where a boomer black dude said, y'all need to vote Democrat no matter what. It's a fight, man. We got to vote Democrat no matter what. And you're like, dude, we had Obama, man. Any black person still voting Democratic after Obama, man. You a failure to your whole race, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm not saying, you know, I'm not a fan of voting either way, but if you're black, man, you might as well be voting Republican. At least then I'd be like, oh shit, he's trying something new. He's trying something new instead of, oh, they're Democrat. I gotta get back on that Democrat, that wagon. I gotta ride it raw. I gotta sit on it. Gotta sit on a Democrat's lap. You know what I'm saying? Kanye West, man, what he did, man, he freed the mind of like, yo, you know what I mean? I don't agree with the whole, you know, anti-Semitic thing. That to me, Kanye you don't need to do that. You know, that ain't cool. It is, you know, you didn't have to do that. But everything else Kanye is doing, man, you know what I'm saying? Yo, he's freed the minds of Kanye's impact on a whole generation has been insane, man. Insane. You know, Kanye West, man, you know, he sat down, you know what I'm saying? One of the football players that died, man, you know, running back, you know, Trump, to me, Trump, man, Trump was more human than Barack Obama, man. When I saw Trump sitting down with Kanye West and please RIP to him, I forget his name, Jim Brown. Yeah, Jim Brown. When I saw Trump sitting down with Jim Brown and Kanye West, man, you don't know what that did for me, man. Spirit, you know, you don't know what that did for me mentally. You know what I'm saying? It proved a lot of shit I was right on, man. And it really, to see Trump sit down with them while Barack Obama was like, hey, Negroes, I like your music. I put your music in my playlist. Young rappers, you know, I got you on my playlist. Come, if you want to talk to me, come pay money at my fundraiser. Because, you know, you Negroes don't deserve my time. Unless a cop was about to arrest you or something like that. Remember what I said about Trayvon? Come on, man. But, you know, man, I want to thank everybody for being on the stream. Y'all have a good one. And remember, man, stop the struggle. That's going to be a new shirt I'm going to do, man. Stop the struggle. You know what I'm saying? Peace. Have a good one.
They said the truth won't survive beside the lies that maintain the decaying faces